Welcome to the the January 5th, 2016 council meeting. A roll call, Donna.
Mayor Bresky.
Here.
Member Neary.
Here.
Member Burns.
Here.
Member Tucker.
Here.
Member Baker.
Here.
Member Gifford.
Here.
Member Lynn.
Here.
City Administrator Giffen.
Here.
City Attorney Etch.
Here.
All rise for prayer and pledge allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At this time, if anyone from the audience would like to address council, you can do so at this time. Please state your name and address.
Big budget. Kathy Gordon, 314 Fort. Just because I feel compelled to be a little bit of a bulldog, I'm going back to a subject that, to my recollection, has not been fully addressed, or maybe is tabled, I'm not sure, regarding a stoplight or something at Vine or Urban, or an access point for the road, the avenue. Where are we?
I think that we're still, with O'Fallon being open, nothing's really changed. I thought that we were, with what I understood, is we were going to wait for the development between O'Fallon and Walnut to get on way to find out where we really need to put that light, if it needs to be at Walnut or if we need to move it on down to Vine or Urban Terrace.
Because every time I try to get out on the avenue from a point other than O'Fallon or Berry, it feels like I'm really taking my life in my hands.
Yeah, I understand that, but I don't believe that the state will put lights at every corner, which that's probably what you need.
Well, then if I get T-boned and die, we'll put up a plaque or something. No, I'm serious. You have no...
I know.
But it is incredibly dangerous.
I know. Anyone else? All right. At this time, I need to appoint someone to the KOI. Danny's going to do that again, or you want me to appoint someone else? Or? That's at Ohio, Kentucky, and Indiana.
I understand what it is. I mean, it's a pretty important post. It's one that I think deserves a lot of attention. I'm spending a lot of time on Main Street, perhaps in Fire Board, which is taking a considerable amount of time. Perhaps it's a better time to appoint someone else.
It has to be someone for council.
I understand that.
Okay. Is anyone interested in KOI appointment?
I'll do it.
It's during the day, right?
What's that?
This is during the day, am I correct?
The meetings usually are.
I
The
understand.
meetings are during the day.
Does Mr. Mary?
How often?
Once a month.
Month.
Not a problem. I can take vacation time.
They're 10:30, Joe. 10:30 a.m. I'll give you a schedule.
Now, we have some appointments to other boards that has to be voted on by council. I'll go down the list, and then I'll need Don Lynn, Board of Adjustments, Tom Ranson and Barry Baker, Board of Architectural Review, Debbie Willman is Code Enforcement, Ethics Committee, Archie Pearson, Dayton Housing Board, Alberta Boreski, Park Board, Brian Fromar and Craig Barnett, Planning and Zoning, Sandy Trutzel and Tom Haddock. Fire Board is Jerry Gifford, Ben Baker, and Jeff Hoss. Sergeant Park is Joey Tucker, Donna Ledger, and myself. Historical Preservation Board is Jane Ebel. I need a motion to accept all these people.
I make a motion to
Motion
accept
by Gary.
the listed people.
Second. Second by Bill. All in favor?
All right.
Opposed?
If I may ask a question, I think we ran through this last year with board appointments. They're strictly your call. I didn't know.
These are all people that have been on the board that just want to, we send out a letter. If somebody don't want to be on the board, they send back a letter or call and say, I don't want to be on that position, but these are people that are already on these boards.
Understood. I thought the council didn't have a vote on this, that's all.
No, on some of these boards, you actually do have, he picks, you approve. It's kind of like Senate confirmation. would be the easiest way to kind of explain that. Like planning and zoning, and is one big one right there, that's for sure you guys.
Okay, because some of those are lumped in there that require council
Yep.
approval.
And yeah, yeah.
Understood.
Okay,
Just trying to keep it,
yeah. Is that a yes or?
that's an aye.
Okay.
And then, your mayor, just for the record, you're appointing Mr. Neary to the OKI board?
Correct.
Okay, just making sure we have a clean record.
All in favor, so carried. Back this way. City Administrator's report.
First thing I have is a handicap parking request at 324 4th Avenue for Jack Smith. The applicant is not the owner, but he has obtained signature, and I've spoken to the owner. The applicant meets all the requirements for a handicapped sign in front of the property. It's at 324 4th. So ask for a motion to accept.
I make a motion that we accept that handicap.
Motion by Jerry,
Second.
second by Denny. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered.
I'm going to diverge the next thing on my agenda down towards the ordinances and orders. This having to do with the closing and abandoning of the unimproved portion of Lower Belmont. But I do have a few other things that I want to touch on. We're going to have a public hearing / open house forum here in this room on January 21st at 7 p.m. They'll be hosted by the city and KZF. They are about ready to present what they've been working on for the last year or so in terms of the riverfront development, or the riverfront commons and community pier comprehensive plan. We talked about having a hearing. They think it may be best if they just kind of set up stations where myself and members of KZF can be there just to solicit feedback from the public and answer any questions that you all might have. So I encourage everybody that would like to come out and see the work that they've done and kind of the direction that we're trying to take the riverfront. I encourage you all to come out. Again, it's January 21st at 7 p.m. We'll make sure that we do the proper postings online and Facebook so you all can remember as this approaches.
Mr. Giffen?
Yes.
That does coincide with a Civic Club meeting, if I'm correct?
Yes, sir.
Same time.
Not same channel, but probably same.
We could,
Could you move yours? Could you? Okay, thank you.
On that topic, Mr. Giffen.
Yes.
Is South Bank going to be in attendance since they're driving the Riverwalk project?
they had not been approached, but I'd be more than happy to ask. I'm sure they'd be more than happy to be here as an advocate for that. So I can
strongly
reach out to Jack.
suggest it because they're, you know, Jack's been with us
Yeah.
with the Riverwalk project. Thank
Yeah.
you.
The third thing I want to bring up, Council, I kind of brought this up a few weeks ago, but we've been approached by a developer that owns quite a bit of property around the corners of O'Fallon, 10th, Walnut, and to the south, the city of Dayton, the city of Bellevue line. They've owned this property for a while, but have recently approached myself and the mayor and Campbell County Planning and Zoning about finally wanting to initiate a single-family home development on the site. So we've met with them a few times, and they've gotten to the point now where they're a little bit more serious about executing some site plans that they've been putting together, and they're just about ready to submit those to our building department at Campbell County, which would in turn generate the reports necessary to take it to our planning and zoning board. But the reason I want to bring it up here tonight is because there are several paper streets along that hillside that they are asking that we take a look at as far as vacating those so that they can continue with the site plans and knowing what direction they can take their development as they prepare the documents to submit to planning and zoning. So what I want to do tonight, I mentioned this to you all before. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have. There's not a whole lot that we know as far as what they're doing with the site plan. We know that they want to do single-family homes. The area is zoned for this particular type of development. They own all the land. From what I understand, in order to make some of their private drives work, they would need these paper streets that are listed as the city's, but obviously the city has no immediate or future use, in my opinion, for using these paper streets for anything that would benefit the public other than perhaps this development. What I'm asking for tonight is just a motion to allow the city to take this to the Planning and Zoning Board in conjunction with developers submitting plans to the Planning and Zoning Board here in the future, so that when the Planning and Zoning Board looks at whatever site plans they submit, that they're also under the impression that in order for some of these things to work, they may have to make a recommendation to vacate or not vacate some of these paper streets. Just like any of these other vacations of right-of-ways that we've been dealing with, one of them's on the agenda later, it will come back to you all for final approval for the closure of these rights-of-way. But in order to kick this off, the city needs to initiate the move to send this application to the Planning and Zoning Board for review. So that's what I'm asking for a motion on tonight. Again, I'd be happy to answer any questions that you all might have.
Do we have a motion to send that forward to Planning and Zoning?
I'll make a motion to send that to planning and zoning.
Motion by
for
Joey
review.
Tucker,
I'll second.
seconded by
Yes, sir.
Joe Neary. All in favor?
Wait a minute.
Aye.
Okay.
I do have a question.
Go ahead.
Okay, so this is just trying to move the development forward. We're not approving one thing at all.
That's
Just to
correct.
move it forward, and then we have to decide later on.
Yeah, so based on the motion, that would go to Planning and Zoning, that the city would like to look into the possibility of vacating these rights-of-way to the designated property owners that they would normally go to in these types of transactions. Some would go to the developer, some may go to current properties that are already there. But what this will do is allow them, the developers, to gauge how they can set up the site plan if these streets are to be vacated. So the Planning and Zoning Board will look at this kind of at the same time that they're looking at submitted plans for development. So the Planning Commission can therefore make a recommendation if it's beneficial to the city and the project. So they'll in turn give you back a recommendation on whether or not closing these streets is up to the city interest or
And
not.
Michael, let me add for you too, this is with the expectation, I want to make clear, and I don't know if the developer knows about this yet or not, but the expectation is that they're going to pay for any kind of surveys and title work that's expected with that. And we're also, before that's going to be able to get to planning and zoning, based on my review of this map, looks like we'll have to get several property owners to sign off as well.
No expense to the city.
Yeah, there should be no expense to the city.
And if you're wondering why didn't the developer just go to planning and zoning, or Campbell County Planning and Zoning, they don't have an application for somebody to come in and just say, hey, I want to look to vacate the city of rights-of-way. It has to be initiated by the city, which is why I'm asking for the motion to send it to planning and zoning for a future review. It could be at next month's meeting, it could be in a few months. Just I would think it would go at the same time as
It'll be
the
about,
submission.
yeah, it'll be about 3 to 4 or 5 months.
Michael. Jerry, you got a question?
Yeah, I do. Because we make other citizens, and we have one on the agenda again, pay for half of the process, what if this doesn't go through? Are they going to be obligated for these properties to pay what the other people have to, like the closing that we've got? I'm asking that question. It's something Denny brought up, and I think it's a good question to ask.
Well, it's obligated that the money be placed with us ahead of time. Now, what agreements that those property owners reach on how those funds are created and given to us, that's between private parties.
So the developer
And we're
may,
the party to it.
the developer may say that I'll pay 100% or 99% or 50%.
Exactly, and that's for him and the property owners to work out between, the different property owners to
The
work out.
paper
amongst
streets are
themselves.
not owned by the property owners of...
No,
I'm
but
asking
the
that
property owners will be the ones gaining an interest in it.
Okay.
Bill?
I just want to pass this on to you because I strongly urge you to do it. If this development goes through, this over on 10th Street there, right from my house. I have nothing problem with the development. But that's a hillside, and I seen what happened on Silver Street. I don't want to see this happen with that hillside up there. You're going to have to put some very big retaining walls up, and the drainage up there is terrible. So all that drainage is going to come off that hillside and come down the streets. We got other problems in other down Urban Terrace. I've seen it, but so when they do these, it has to be with specs, because if they don't put some kind of retaining walls up there, that hillside's going to fall down.
Yeah, those have been the concerns that have come up in the meetings with the county. So when they design those, they'll have to, whatever they design, we'll have to address those very issues.
Okay, very good.
What's the total acreage? I tried to figure it out on the PVA Link GIS, and it seemed to be about 0.6 acres total.
I actually do not know that off the top of my head. I don't know if it was on the preliminary site plan that I've seen. I don't know if it ever
Are you
specified.
talking about for just the paper streets?
What the city property
What the
is
city
that we're
owns, okay.
talking about giving away. And you know how I am about giving away rights of way. You know, you look at this hillside now, and it's all honeysuckles and locust trees and everything else and sliding down. But if you can envision what they want to build there, that's a primo piece of property. So I hope the city gets, I want to make it a win-win situation for the city and for the developer.
Anyone else have any comments before we vote on this? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No order.
Two quick things to finish up, Mayor. One, our Main Street manager, Anthony Cato, put in his 2 weeks' notice yesterday, and I want to personally thank Anthony for everything that he's done for the last year and a half. It's been a quick year and a half, but he's been offered a great opportunity, and we wish him the best of luck going forward. So congratulations, Anthony, and thank you. I appreciate all your hard work the last couple of years.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure working with you, too.
Can we vote against his resignation?
I just think to make that motion.
I guess you could, but I don't think it's going to do you any good. I don't think you're allowed.
Best of luck, buddy.
I do not need a motion. The last thing I have, Mayor, there was a nice little article in the River City News today, kind of recounting what we kind of did in 2015. And as you go on, you don't really realize what all you accomplished in a year, but it was pretty cool to read and see what we did last year. I'm looking forward to this year as well. So if you haven't got a chance, take a look. It's a nice little article.
Great article.
That's all I have, Mayor.
That's all you got? Okay. City Attorney's report.
Michael, I'll go ahead and take care of the first part of this Belmont Road issue, and then that way, when they get ready to read the ordinance, it'll flow together pretty nicely. So we were talking last month about that Belmont Road ordinance. There's a meeting of one of the committees, and there had been an agreement about some easements being drawn up. Those easements were sent to council last week, and then revisions sent over the weekend. Essentially, all that we would need council for the easement part of it would be just a approval to accept. Then at that point, the ordinance that you had previously postponed would be reread, and you would just accept it as is on the second reading. And then, at that point, that would conclude all the actions you'd have to take, and then I would just have to execute the transfers.
So the second reading is the same as the first reading, except for the exhibits.
No, the exhibits stay the same in the ordinance. The easement is a completely separate document.
Understood.
That way, we didn't have to go through and read it twice.
Understood.
So I would just ask the council for a motion to accept the easements as drafted and allow the city to accept the easements.
I make that motion.
Motion by Bill,
Second.
second by Jerry. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered.
Comment, this is a nice win-win situation, again, for the city and for the property owners, and I appreciate your cooperation on this.
We ain't got to pay us yet.
Pardon me?
So we ain't got to pay us yet, that's coming up.
And that's all
you got?
for my report.
Okay.
Your man.
Consent, approval of the minutes from the December 1st, 2015 meeting. Need a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Jerry,
Second.
second by Bill. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered. Approval of the minutes from 2015 council meeting.
So moved.
Motion by Ben, seconded by
Second.
Which 2015 meeting, sir?
2015, December 15th.
December 15th.
Second by Dave.
Danny?
Okay. All in favor? Aye. No order. Okay. Orders and, ordinances, orders, closing abandoned, unimproved portion of Lower Belmont, 2015-11. Donna?
City of Dayton, Kentucky, ordinance number 2015, number 11. An ordinance closing and abandoning a 40-foot wide unimproved portion of Lower Belmont Road. This ordinance closes and bans a 40-foot wide unimproved portion of Lower Belmont Road and abutting property owners known as 604 Belmont Road, 611 Belmont Road, and 103 Belmont Road. And it's the second reading.
Need a motion?
After taking some time of Mr. Giffin's time to view the property and to truly understand it, I truly appreciate your time. I'd like to make that motion to accept this order.
Motion by Ben.
Seconded.
Seconded by Jerry. Roll call, Donna.
Member Gifford?
Aye.
Member Lynn?
Yes.
Member Neary?
Aye.
Member Byrne?
Aye.
Member Tuttle?
Aye.
Member Baker?
Aye.
So ordered. Department heads, Donna.
Everybody should have a copy of the financials, the check register, and other than our normal day-to-day activities, we've sent out the handicap renewals, which I'll have for the next council meeting. We've sent out all the renewals for the occupational payroll, and I'm getting ready to send out the first delinquent tax notice, and the auditors have completed, as of yesterday, their field work, so hopefully within a month we'll have the audit paper.
Thank you. Chief Hayfield.
I passed out to the council members just the yearly statistics that we've done from January to December. Compared them to 2014 and good percentage of increase, whether we increased or decreased on that. So I will have that online on our Facebook page so everybody will be able to see that, how we're progressing. You can obviously tell when you see these numbers that the guys are out there working. They're really out there in the public doing foot patrol and being visible. And I think that's important to a safer community. So, and to add on to that, we did hire a police officer. He's a 20-year veteran from Boone County Sheriff's Department. He comes in with a lot of wealth of experience, which we need. We do have a lot of younger guys now in the department. With the younger guys, we need some older guys that have the experience and the knowledge. And Jared Demoisey is his name. He's actually got 17 years as a field training officer. And that's kind of a reason why I brought him in to help out and try to mentor some of our younger guys. So, that's all I have.
Well, plus we have a new female officer.
We do?
Oh, the dog.
The dog.
The dog.
Looking forward to meeting her.
Yeah, we will have her. We'll probably have it at the next council meeting. We'll bring Tessa in with Sergeant Marksberry, so to show in front of council. So,
Mayor, I just want to make this comment. I look at this report, Dave, and I congratulate you once again, because I looked at drug arrests from one year to the next year, and the drug arrests in the city of Dayton is up 42%. Somebody's doing their job out there, and I compliment you on it. And also, just right down from there, the drug overdoses is down 19%, but it's up a little bit in Bellevue. So I compliment you and your staff for an outstanding job for solving the drug problem. Thank you.
All right. Chief Audrey. Good evening.
Also, my report, you're going to see statistical data from 2015. You'll see that the Semitic runs are up by 116 runs this past year. We did a total 139 inspections. We were able to hand out 60 free smoke detectors, and we did 29 burn permits. Also, in my report, you'll find our department was actually trained with the Newport Fire and Police the Christmas holidays at Newport High School for what they call SAVE programs, active shooter in a school. So now our department is certified to to respond to any type of mass shooting with the different agencies, and Campbell and Boone, we're all trained the same. Bellevue and Chief Affle and I are just discussing doing something now in Dayton, Bellevue, so we'll be getting on that soon. So the guys are trained. We have special equipment that's carried on a medic unit that they have to carry when they go in with the SWATs, the different teams, to extricate people that are shot. So we did get that finished. The guys are at the airport right now. We have 3 on the truck committee heading to South Dakota for the Rosenbauer. The company's going to build our fire truck. This is all paid through Rosenbauer. They'll be there till Friday visiting the plant and getting some contacts. And so we're all excited to get up there and get this thing rolling. It's about a year out, so we should take delivery in November. So last month, you'll see also in there we had 2 fire board meetings. One was a special meeting to get the approval to run ahead for the fire truck. So that got passed, and then we have a regular meeting on the 17th. Again, this year, the firefighters local 3751 in Santa Claus made a difference with 10 families. It's a tradition since 2001. It was very successful this year. And the last thing I have, I'd just like to share, Century Construction is rounding third, I guess, and heading home. Electrician's been in, the plumbers, they're tiling all this week, the shower, the restroom area. And I think next week they're going to put the fixtures in. And then I guess the painters will come in and get the lights and that up, and then be ready to go. So it's been a long process, but we're excited to get it finished. They've got 1 bathroom in the basement and a portal out in the garage that they've been using for about a month. So, and I'd just like to say it's been a pleasure working with the administrator, Rick Giffen, and the rest of the council. We've accomplished a lot this year within the fire department. Things we really needed, we were able to get this year, and we're really looking forward to working with you this year. Is there any report?
Chief, I got a question for you. Since we had the high rise of the river down there the last week or so, where do we store our boat at?
Our boat right now is in Cincinnati.
Cincinnati?
Over at Sea Ray.
Okay.
And it's, you call it winterized, but they're just doing like you would take your vehicle in to have the oil change and different things like that. Actually, we should be getting it back next week. It'll be stored in the firehouse.
Okay, so it'll be in dry dock?
Yeah, but it'll be in service. Depending, we check the water levels every day, depending on Manhattan Harbor. If we're not able to get that boat in, we usually go to Serpentine Wall, because the majority of our runs are down that area, so that's where we'll put it in. If we can't get in at the reef area.
Well, it was up pretty bad last week. I didn't think you'd be trying to go out there with the reef.
No. We try not to go out. Water rescue's out a lot just because of the debris, and they have a larger vessel. They've got a pretty big boat that they pretty much stay on the weekend out, patrol that area. So unless it's a bridge jumper or a boat capsized, then 99% of the time we won't get deployed in the wintertime.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chief. Anthony?
You guys should have my CCAP report. We did receive 1 new application that's currently in the review stages, and so we're trying to figure out a few things for that. We did approve 2 applications. One we received 2 months ago, and then the other one was for Rick Zumwalt for his signage. So you'll see that on the section of current applications. It'll kind of explain the sign there. Other than that, if you guys don't have any questions, we can move on. The museum will be open in January, so second Saturday and fourth Saturday from 10 to 2 p.m. So if you guys get a chance to visit that for the new year, encourage everyone to make a New Year resolution. With that, pretty much concludes my formal report. I just want to take a moment and echo City Administrator Giffen's and Mayor Borowski's sentiment, and that it has been a definite pleasure working here for the short year and a half. And I've learned a lot, and I really appreciate it. So thank you.
Thank you. Any correspondence, Tom?
No, sir.
Standing committee reports, finance, member Lynn.
No report.
Public safety, member Gifford, stop sign on Vine Street by railroad tracks.
Right. Kind of went over it with Joey and Denny and actually sat down there and watched it. In my opinion, I think we should install a stop sign at that point before the railroad tracks. There's one on Walnut, and the traffic does not slow down going across.
Where is it? Is it right before you get to the tracks?
It's going to have to be right on the corner where the house is, kind of like they did on Walnut. We'll need to look at that,
Okay.
the way they did it there. And that's the only recommendation I can have. I mean, I think it's necessary.
You want to make that into a motion?
Yes. I'd like to make a motion that we put up a stop sign at the corner of Vine before the railroad tracks.
Second.
Motion by Jerry, second by Bill, all in favor?
We'll be going south.
I'm sorry, comments?
So, traveling on Vine towards the stadium,
Right.
you're talking about at 9th Street there.
And the problem on Walnut, they have one, and the traffic does stop, but if you would sit and watch,
Lindsay.
they do not stop, and they go pretty fast over the tracks. It's kind of a blind shot anyway.
I just wanted to clarify which direction on Vine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If
it would
you
actually
wanna
be
take
closer
a-
to Lindsay Street. That's not 9th there.
Right.
Oh, it would be at Lindsay or at 9th?
But it would be before the tracks, so closer to Lindsay Street.
So you want to put a stop sign right before the tracks?
Yes.
Is that going to, because we went through this with the point when they expanded, they used that gravel,
That's why I'm saying at the corner, right by the building. Where we put it exactly is going to have to be up to the city, how we do that. I can't tell you exactly where it should go, but there is a gravel road behind the laundry, behind the
Right.
point there that they do use.
Right.
So it'd probably have to be right before that.
okay,
But there's not a lot of room there to make an adjustment. If you
understood.
put it on the other side of the gravel road, then that means traffic's coming on while the car's trying to stop.
Right, understood, thank
I
you.
mean, if you guys want to take a look at it, you're more than welcome to. But I think it's a necessary item.
Any more comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered. Public Works, member Burns.
Mr. Lucas is not here tonight, so Michael, I'd like to instruct you to get with Rick and his crew. As I drive around these streets in Dayton, there are some signs that's in deplorable condition. I'd like for them to come up with a game plan. There's one in, for instance, is Upper Urban Terrace. It's a slow children's and speed sign. You can't even hardly read it. So we need to look at all the signs. I'm not saying we have to do it right away, but I'd like for Rick and his crew to go out and come up with a game plan to,
Yeah, that's the one on McKinney, ain't it, Bill?
yeah, was that McKinney?
Yeah, that one
Yeah,
dropped down, yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was Urban Terrace.
We looked at that last
Okay,
week.
but I just think we need to check all the signs in the city of Dayton. That's all I have now.
Parks and Real Estate.
Park Board had a meeting last night, which I was unable to attend, but I do know that they're going to be taking bids for concrete work within the park. They've kind of laid out a list of winter things that they want to work on, and Don, I believe that's going into the recorder.
Yes.
There's an ad going to be going out in the next month, and then also they're looking at some renovations possibly of the concession stand area and bathroom area to get a list together what kind of work they can do there before the new year. That's all I have.
Thank you. Personnel Law and Printing, member Neary.
Mr. Giffen has shared with me, I believe this is Campbell County's suggested updates to our zoning ordinances.
Yes, they compared ours to theirs and highlighted what was kind of missing and what didn't need to be in there, so to say.
It's exciting reading, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
But I intend to work with our new code enforcement officer and Mr. Giffen and with Personnel Law and Printing. So many of our ordinances, especially as far as zoning, need to be updated. Another thing that I would like to, I'll be sending it out to all the council members here over the next couple of days, our nuisance ordinance, I don't think has enough teeth in it. I've got one from Bellevue that I've talked to the council members over there, and it seems to be a lot more effective than what we have, so I'd like to open that up for a discussion and get that remedied sometime this spring. That's all I have, sir.
Thank you. Economic Development, member Baker.
Well, I must say that it's kind of with sad news that we hear that Mr. Cable's moving along. We're very happy and excited for him. It's a great opportunity, Anthony. I just wanted to point out that over the last year that we've worked with the CCAP program that Anthony Cadle initiated, for every dollar that we spent, we received $8.96 back. So that's a 900% almost return on investment. So the mark that you made in 1.5 years is amazing. So, and you're probably one of the closest people I work with on being part of economic development. So thank you for your hard work and best of luck, sir.
Thank you.
With that, that's all I've got.
All right, thank you. Anybody in council got petitions? Unfinished business?
Can we get a status update on, since we've done the easement issue on Belmont, can we get a status update, Michael, on the Dayton Pike Park?
There's not really a change. I did receive some correspondence back from the Department of Local Government. It was discouraging in the fact that they admitted to me that 2 years ago, they instructed us to do the wrong type of environmental study. So I just found this out. I'm looking into what does that mean. Best I can tell is that it just means I need to reach back out to the firm that did the environmental study and correspond with them in the Department of Local Government on what is it that they didn't do that they needed to do. So to make a long story short, it's only discouraging in that it's just one of many things that seems to have come up over the last 3 years that we think we've got everything in that we need, and the Department of Local Government turns around and says, oh, boy, we forgot to tell you, you needed to do this. So it's a little discouraging in that fact. They've indicated that once this is complete, this is the only thing holding up the application in Washington, that once it's fulfilled, they see no reason why it won't get approved. But I'm still trying to figure out the difference between the two studies, and I've got to now coordinate with a geotechnical firm or somebody that does these studies to see what the costs are going to be. Now, the costs don't come on the city. They're paid for by the developer, but I've been the one that's been facilitating the execution of them. So I've got to figure out what this means as far as how long it's going to delay the process further. My guess is it'll take a couple months to get a new study done. So a little discouraging.
As we can twist on this, I mean, somebody's going to get killed on that road. Almost every time I come up or down Dayton Pike, there's somebody jogging or walking or on a bike. It's really a safety issue, and we've got the sidewalk funds. If there's any way that any of us can help you move this forward with us,
We've met with our U.S. Senators' offices to help see if they can spur this along, and they're doing what they can, but you know, even some of the stuff at the national level is a bit out of their hands, so it's unfortunate. It's just an ongoing saga. At the end of the day, it's not bad, it's just going to delay it a little bit further, but who knows when they were going to turn around and approve it anyway. So I spent the last couple days trying to get our ducks in order and figuring out what we need to do now to get this done as quickly as possible and to get it submitted to the National Park Service and have them approve it. I still think we'll get something approved here in the spring and summer, but we also were told it was going to get approved in July, and here we are. So.
But just to clarify, that there is no expiration on the safe sidewalk.
No, I've been working with the Transportation Department. They know, they understand that it's out of our hands. We've done everything that we could do to get this thing to where it's at right now. So they're aware of that, and they're willing to work with us as long as it'll take. So.
But in the meantime, so there's no way we could do anything with the sidewalks at all because of public safety?
No.
And I agree with Joe on that.
Yeah, I mean, we could, there's a few preliminary things we could do, but as far as executing the grant, I wouldn't recommend doing any of that type of execution at this point, just for the sake of, we don't know 100% for sure that it's going to go through. I mean, we're confident, but I'd hate to start a sidewalk that just ends and never gets finished, so we'd have to see this through. And I'm hopeful we can get it done in a couple of months, but that's where we're at right now.
Thank you.
Yep.
New business.
Gentlemen, I passed out to you a screenshot I have here of the intersection of 2nd and Kenton. Right next to Fast Temp and Hasco. For years, there's been a guardrail parked in the middle of the street right there, and for what reason, I'm not sure, but it seems as though there's some trash that accumulates there. There's some dumpsters. And Chief, I was going to ask you if there's been any increased crime in that area, or I was also going to ask Mr. Autry if there's any issues with moving trucks through that area if they had to, because there's a guardrail in the middle of it. I was just wondering why that rail's there and if it's necessary to continue to be there.
What I remember about that rail was, that was put up for that company.
Fast Temp?
Yeah.
That was put up for that company.
Not
But
Hasco.
why? I don't
No,
understand.
Hasco really didn't want it up
No.
because it's short of block. They had trucks coming down Kenton to there because they were the oldest business down there. And they would turn either left or right to get into that parking lot. So they were not really happy about the idea that it closed off, but it was when that business went in, for some reason, due to the trucks backing in there, they closed that street off. That's why the street is closed.
To the trucks backing into Fast Temp.
Correct. You see that driveway there?
To the left.
But that's why it's done.
Is there any reason that we're continuing to keep it open? Is there any agreement on place, or it just seems that it's kind of a nice, or it's kind of
I agree. it is.
maybe an issue of public safety as far as moving trucks quicker and faster?
Well, I think Michael was going to talk to them people. Did you get?
I have not talked to the owners, but I'll reach out first thing tomorrow. I know we were looking at some of the old ordinances. Did we find anything that was in an agreement there?
I mean, we have an ordinance, it was approved by ordinance, but I went back several meetings, I couldn't find the reason why it was approved, why it was requested.
I'll contact Mr. Youngblood then, first thing tomorrow.
Sure.
And get her,
Yeah.
And I don't know ultimately what the agreement was, but I can, if anybody knows, he would probably know that because he's still there. So,
That's good. It seems like no other street in Dayton is blocked off by a guardrail for one person. So, Mr. Youngblood's a pretty reasonable person, so I'd like to hear his answer. That's all I got.
Anyone else have any new business? Do you have any reason to go into executive session?
I do, Mayor, I totally slipped my mind to introduce our new code director, Richard McAllister, started here yesterday. So we're glad to have him here. Been without the code director now for several months. Anthony was filling in the interim. So we lost one and gained one here, but it's been a fun 2 days.
No wonder you look so familiar to me.
But we're happy to have you, Rich, and obviously he doesn't have anything for you right now, but we've spent the last couple days just figuring out a game plan between he and Anthony and myself, brainstorming a little bit on how to effectively take on some of the issues that we see, so we're excited to get that underway, and again, welcome.
Thank you. I need a motion, unless there's anything else under new business. I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Denny, second by Bill. All in favor?
Aye.
Chief, I need to talk to you.